Hey guys, how are you? It's Krista again. Yesterday I sat down to do a reading and my cousin called me and we ended up talking for hours and hours and hours, and it was just really beautiful. It was a really spiritual time, and we ended up just learning and just growing with each other. It was just a really, really beautiful moment. And I'm sitting here at the moment and there's this cracking thunderstorm that's been raging. So if you're hearing booms, then enjoy it. It feels like an Australian summer day, although it's only spring. We get these incredibly hot days and you can hear the birds. You may hear people, if they get a bit louder, we'll have to get up and close the door. But for now, it's just like, if you can hear that, I kind of hope you can. It's really dark outside. It's only 3 p.m. But it's overcast, thunderstorm, yeah, kind of weather. And I think every Aussie, we just love this weather. It's just beautiful. I hope you can hear that because it's just gorgeous. And sometimes we do have to just sit down and take time to listen and enjoy. Hey, I just think it's really beautiful. So we just have a shuffle and we'll see what comes out. While you enjoy the thunderstorm with me. I really hope you can hear that. I've got the door open. This is, I don't know if you guys do that wherever you are, but whenever we have, like, I don't know, in Australia, I always think of, thunderstorms, and you kind of open up all the doors and windows before the rain hits, if it's not, really crazy, but it's just the thunder and the lightning and the sound and the color of the sky. Just before that, the rain hits. Sometimes it doesn't even come. It's just all thunder, just all noise. And a noisy car. But just before it hits, the smell of the storm and like grass, or the smell of a storm. I don't know if you guys in other countries may understand what I'm talking about there, but I know here in Australia, the smell of the storm is so gorgeous. And then when the rain hits, the smell of the rain hitting the dirt, just coming up in big fat drops, and it's heaven. I love it. Maybe you can start to hear it. The rain is just starting to hit. And I have a metal roof, an original old mining cottage. And again, in Australia, I'm sorry, this is a very Australian moment where you can hear big fat raindrops hitting a tin roof with the thunder in the background. And it starts coming slowly and then suddenly it just pelters down. So we'll see if we can even hear what's happening. I'm not feeling a particular energy at the moment, but I am feeling very peaceful, although we have our Ten of Wands. So this is our main energy of someone carrying a lot of heavy burdens. Too many for one person to carry. So much that they can't see where they're going. When we carry too many burdens, we can't see clearly, can we? It's a very gentle energy at the moment, I feel. With the storm. And the cars and the birds. Speaking of birds, I have chickens. I have backyard chickens. And there's been a few times now, I have no roosters. I've only got 5 hens. And occasionally I've had mornings where I've been hearing a rooster, and I do not have a rooster, but a couple of doors down there's someone who had a whole heap of hens, and you occasionally will hear someone who has a rooster. We're not supposed to, it's illegal to keep roosters in suburbia, even country suburbia anyway, really, because of noise, them being a noise menace, really. And there's been a few times, like early in the morning, I swear to God, I've been hearing a rooster. Well, I got up one morning and I could hear a rooster, and I was like, it sounds like it's coming from my backyard, but it can't be because I don't have a rooster. And sure enough, there was one of my hens crowing just like a rooster. And I have no idea, but I've been hearing this rooster, and it's not like most hens, they lay an egg and they're like, bah-bah, bah-bah, you know, they kind of announce themselves, or if they send an alarm, they're concerned there's a hawk or a dog or something, like they'll send out this alarm sound. But this little hen that I observed, I caught her, I opened the back door, and there she was, crowing like this. Sorry, you don't need to hear me crowing like a rooster. But it was hilarious. It was really funny, and I was like, okay, so I'm not going crazy, but I have, I think, I don't know, a confused hen, or she's just filling in while there are no while there's no men around. I don't know. Okay. Wait. We're starting to get a bit more of a picture here, aren't we? Wait. All right, I think that's enough for a minute. I'll leave this, we'll come back to that. So we have our a King of Wands who I think this is our main character, and he's looking at all these burdens that he's been carrying. Now the King of Wands only carries one burden, let's say, someone who's very decided about what he wants, but he's looking at this character who is carrying a lot of burdens. And I think this is a reflection, a self-reflection of, you know, the work that goes into becoming a King of Wands. And also learning that in order to be more empowered, you actually have to release them, don't you? Or you hand them out to someone else to help you carry the burdens. But the king dictates, doesn't he? He dictates to others for them to do things. But this king, I see two messages here. One that it's like a reflection, looking on the past, of carrying too many burdens, and on the other hand, also like a dictator who has delivered burdens to this, I'm going to call this a young man. This is a mature man. This is a younger man. The younger man doesn't realize how to release as easy as a more mature person. But the mature person becomes mature by learning to release burdens. But there is still a sense, so I do feel that it's like a two-sided, maybe there's an in-between thing going on at the moment. And behind him is, we often call this the reunion card. There's an offering of a masculine to a feminine, but it's either in the past or it's something that he's just not focused on at the moment. At the moment, this king is focused on these burdens. I apologize about any screaming from my neighbors that you might hear. So I will try and drown them out a little bit, otherwise I'll have to get up and close the door, sadly. But anyway, this king, there's like something about a reunion with the Six of Cups. Something about the purity of this. But this is not a focus. But it's there in the background. It's just a background. He's got his back to it, but it's in the background. At the moment, he's focusing on looking at these burdens. I actually think whatever's going on here, this is actually seems like a really healthy, positive step forward. And below them, we have the Three of Pentacles. And I'll always say that with all kinds of threes that we get, three is always a crowd, but there's also the sense that there's two people dictating something to one person while they do the work. There's the planners, the schemers, and then the worker. It is on the side. So this is something that is a bit rocky at the moment. There's questions about this situation and what's happening. So it's almost like a little bit foundational is what I'm feeling, because this is something that you work on, you're building, this is the building up of. But I guess there's a question of what this foundation is. You know, the throne is based on this, and there's something about this working together and this being in the background. So I feel like that's one part of what's happening here today. Now, over here we've got our Judgment card, and of course our Awakening card. The Nine of Swords is that awakening moment of 9 truths that have, when someone's been sleeping and they haven't been maybe perceiving or understanding the truth, and then suddenly they've awoken and there's profound understanding, and that has brought in a sense of judgment, of understanding. Again, I see that in reverse. Actually, just because it's in reverse, I actually feel like it's more like a past, like it's happened, it's done. That has helped this person make a judgment for themselves, and also see the judgments that have been called upon themselves. So once you awaken to truth, it's like that saying, you know, once you see something, you cannot unsee it. I apologize again if you can hear those talking outside. It's just such a beautiful day. I don't want to close the door. So anyway, yeah, so there is something about that. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And once you see something, perceive something correctly, then you can make correct judgments, not only correct judgments as in correct decisions, but you can also understand why things are happening around you. If you've had a whole heap of, when you're asleep, you can often experience sort of confusion, and this person's awakening, but he's like, oh, why didn't I see this before? You know, but as soon as you, once you are awakened, then everything starts to fit into place, and you can start having a direct path and decision towards what you want, and all that kind of thing. And again, this is in between. This is, I feel like this is not, we don't need to talk about this energy. There is something about reunion, or there's something, but this is not the focus at the moment. But there's something about that being connected. That's all I can think of at the moment. So let's have a look at this. Ace of Pentacles, Eight of Wands, Three of Swords. Hate seeing that Three of Swords. The Chariot, the Magician, and the Two of Pentacles. I do feel like this is what we're awakening from. I'm kind of going to move this over here. I think, no, I feel like this is loss. I'm beginning to feel like financial loss. That someone didn't receive the message about threes, this working together, this is toxic energy. Three of Swords is heartbreak. They often call this card the, oh, I'm just losing the word. I'm sorry, my mind. Yeah, I'm just going three's a crowd. I'm sorry. Third party situations is the word that I'm trying to find. There was a loss. The message, there's no going towards this. There's a great loss, heartbreaking, three people, three situations, three separate situations. There's no moving forward on that. There is no moving forward on that. And yet we've got the Magician, who's wanting to bring in, I feel confusion. This is a great energy. This is a powerful manifestor, positive, who uses all the elements, who is pointing to the heavens and pointing to earth, and there's great abundance and growth. I love the Magician in the upright. In the reverse, yeah, we've got a toxic energy, but in the upright, this is a really positive person, but this is someone who's still very unbalanced. And I'm looking at this past energy here because this is what this person manifested. I think this is the thing. This person is really realizing what they manifested. And this is their judgment, is what their own manifestation. What you choose to stay in. If you stay in third party situations, you're going to have heartbreak. If you choose to stay in it, you've got to accept responsibility for your choices. Magician chooses this. But it's like a secret. There's no beginning. It's interesting under this reunion card. There can be no beginning. There can be no beginning. There can be no reunion. There's no beginning. When you don't speak the truth and you stay in situations that are harmful for you, you choose to stay in them. It's the Chariot cards. This is a card of action. It's in reverse, so it's a card of inaction. And this is what this person has manifested and desired. This is the burden. You've got to look at this. This is a very passionate, positive, healthy king who's got powerful manifestation abilities. But what are you manifesting? So, king, whether you're a female or a male, it doesn't matter. Gender is irrelevant. You carry the energy of the King of Wands. You're a powerfully passionate, focused person, and you've got magician energy. You can do anything. You can do anything. But if you choose toxicity and to stay in situations that aren't helpful for you, then unfortunately you end up becoming the Two of Pentacles. Unbalanced. This is a rocky, infinitely, you've got the infinite sign, eternal sign, and you've got a rocky sea, which is emotional, and he's unbalanced. He's like juggling. What are you juggling? You know, you juggling people, thinking you can have everything, but those things that you're desiring are toxic. You can manifest anything, but I guess when you wake up and you look around you and you see what you've manifested, there's only one person responsible for that, and that is this person. And that's a burden. And this can't happen. This can't happen. It's got to be set apart. It's a desire. I read that as a desire, not even I don't even see that as prophetic. It's just simply a desire. It's nothing more. So it doesn't mean anything, you know. But you can't have like, you can have these powers, right? But unless you are manifesting and desiring things that are good for you and healthy for you and positive for you, then you can't have these pure relationships. When you are in third parties, you have three's a crowd. You cannot have these beautiful things and have these things as well. It creates imbalance. You'll call judgment upon yourself. You can't even blame the divine for this. You can't. This is something you manifest for yourself. This is an outcome. And I think this is what needs to happen. You have to take action and make decisions for yourself, but that's a process. So I think that's very forgivable, you know, but we do have to learn our lessons. We have to wake up to those things. So I think that's a very straightforward channeled message for you guys. I didn't even introduce myself yet. Sorry, my name is Krista and I am Little Wren, and I give channeled messages. Often they can be twin flame, divine feminine, divine masculine. Very often they are, but I would rather have them be more generic if I could have a choice. But Spirit pulls whatever is pulled. And these energies, you can be a divine feminine and be a male. You can be a divine masculine and still be a female. A lot of people resonate one way or the other. And the message is the message. And whatever you see that is drawing you in, whatever headline you see is more important. I tend not to focus on... I tend to look at elements over star signs. It's not really my personal cup of tea. I tend to just deliver channeled messages. So, meep meep. See you guys. I don't know them. Just being silly. So I don't know why I did that. Here we go. Here we go. Correct your mistakes and count your blessings. This is how we become wise, is that we learn, we make lots of mistakes. Mistakes are really important, and we all do them because we only know what we know when we know it. And there's nothing we can do. Sorry about this traffic. I should close the door, but I just don't want to. It's too nice. The thunder stopped and we had like 3 drops of rain and nothing else has come. So Australia. Sorry, distracted. Oop, that's too many. I'm gonna put that back as well. Yeah, so we were talking about wisdom, but wisdom really is allowing yourself to make mistakes, because it is how we learn. We learn the most valuable lessons by doing sometimes the wrong thing, or by simply not trusting our intuition. And we are a product of our upbringings, and we have to challenge those teachings sometimes. We have to challenge all of what we've learnt in life. Check it and recheck it and check it and recheck it. It's just how we grow. Reevaluate your priorities. Yeah. Count your blessings. It always feels so cliched, doesn't it? When we look at that, count your blessings. It's like, I don't really feel like doing that, especially if you're in a really dark place. Okay. So we have strengthen your gifts. I think that's beautiful. Bust out of your cocoon. At the same time, I feel like this is push. Do you push or do you pull? Bust out of your cocoon, but retreat at the same time. Have faith, shine your light, strengthen your gifts. This is all about trusting the self, isn't it? It's really about trusting the self and not having any doubt whatsoever about what you feel you're meant to do, where you feel you're meant to go, and who you're meant to be. And just liking what you like and not doubting it, and not having someone else come and say, oh, well, maybe that's not a good idea. It doesn't matter if someone comes along and says it, because someone always will. It's knowing whether or not it's advice that you should heed. Sometimes I think Spirit sends us people to test us, to test that resolve that we have within us. So the other day I was talking to someone about my job, and I would love to kind of resign, or at minimum either go casual or reduce my hours. And I had said that to this friend, and he was like, oh, you shouldn't probably do that. And I was like, he had no idea about what my situation was or anything, but it was like an immediate reaction. And since he said it, I actually was starting to feel like, because initially I had this feeling of like, I'm going to resign. I plan on resigning because I'm not happy. And I'm not happy being there. And all I've ever wanted was to have the time and space to do the things that I want to do. to look after myself, to feel good, to be creative, to do this, to do other things. Because I struggle with it energetically, dealing with that particular environment, and it's an energy thing. But yeah, since that person said that, I did start to doubt, oh, am I supposed to? Should I? Is it the wrong thing to do? And that's so easily unbalanced, isn't it? Because I've been so certain about what I should do and where I'm heading and why and what I want to do. I've been very, very clear, to be honest. And it will be a very big trust process. I'm sorry, I'm shuffling these cards. These cards are reading card. They're healing cards by Ina Segal, who's also got a book who I recommend. So interestingly, this just fell out over here, and it's the 10. So you've got the 10 of Wands, and this is number 10 of all the cards that fell out directly underneath it. And that is, pay attention to signs. So I think there's a lot of burdens. There's what I would then interpret these burdens as, that Spirit's been giving this King of Wands sign after sign after sign after sign after sign, and he's been ignoring them all. And it's when we do that we end up having these judgment calls. Spirit does intervene. So this king is in full awareness of Spirit, I think. It's interesting. We'll keep going with these for a minute. The thunderstorm's still going, and I really love it. It really makes me happy. I keep having these visions of looking out a window across a garden, like being able to do my readings and to write and to create. And I'm looking down kind of like a hill. It's just all this leafy greenness, and oh, it's so beautiful. And I keep getting this vision, and I think that will come to my future. I'm looking forward to that a lot. It'll be absolutely lovely. Dream come true, really. I don't know that there are any, as I speak, I'll take those ones and not these ones. Love, number 28. They're very distanced, aren't they? You've got a masculine who's just locked away in a painting, and a feminine who's just had to turn her back to it and look elsewhere. And then number 26, letting go. So maybe this has to do with a love situation. Maybe the feminine is learning to let go here. Looks like this, they're almost kind of facing the same way and the same mannerism, and it's learning to let go. Yeah. Wait. Phoenix rising. I feel like we're looking at a feminine energy now. Something about having to let go of love and rising from the ashes of it. I think that's beautiful. And this is number 17, beauty and wildness. I think that together, that's beautiful. I love that. It's falling over here. I do feel like that very much matches the the King of Wands, wildly passionate. Yeah, look, she's wearing red. She's wearing red. Yeah. Wow. Thank you, Spirit. Wait. These cards wanting to talk today. Sexuality. There is so much passion here. But why are these burdens? And you got this reunion card in the middle, but it's behind everything else. The feminine has to let go. Yet here's this king who's just got all this passion, wildness, and he's ignoring. Is he ignoring it all? Just looked over here and I just got this carnelian palm stone. And that's, I feel like I need to put that here. Needs to be some healing with the Sacral Chakra. Just, you know, when we have problems a blocked Sacral Chakra, it's often not only about sexuality, but it's about joy, it's about happiness, it's about finding your passions. What's blocking you from allowing yourself to freely receive happiness and goodness and all that kind of thing, but also, you know, it's just all the joy of life, you know, receiving all the joy of life. And yeah, oh wow, we've got courage, we've got pride. This is a tormented person here. Interesting. There's something about this. I was going to say that this might be this feminine, but look at the color of the hair here. Like, these females they look the same, but these do not. This is having courage to walk away from a masked bride. Quite a toxic energy. Look, and she's trying to hold on to him, and he's trying to look elsewhere, looking everywhere else, passionately. I feel like this is the in-between. There's something in between. Crazy. This story is pretty intense, isn't it? Oy. And have faith. Number 22. I feel like this is for the feminine. This one over here. These are very different energies. So I feel like that's his energy. These are her energies. And this is someone who is chasing down this masculine like crazy. It's a toxic energy. Look, I'm putting my selenite wand straight on top. I didn't even mean to do it. Selenite. Yeah, this one needs to heal their sacral chakra. And if you don't know about chakras, person watching, let me encourage you to look into it a little bit more. Don't just flip it off as being something that's just, you know, nonsense. Chakras really help you understand what you need to heal in your life. And yeah, it's those blockages. So it's not just about energy, but it is all about energy, sorry, but it's understanding what is blocking you, because they're very specific things, and they do help you identify what needs to be healed. If you can't identify it easily, it helps narrow down things that need to be healed. Anyway, I think we might just leave it at that, and I might I'm gonna give sorry, I'm gonna get these out. I put them away, I was like but seeing as I'm using those other cards, I will use these ones. These are Angel Oracle cards, and I want to give this as I guess as a form of encouragement, but probably more for this king, for both all three parties here. Threes. Ugh. I'm always like, I feel really repulsed by it, to be honest. I hate it. I hate those situations. They're horrible. And they don't need to be confusing. The God honest truth is that they're only confusing if we're not trusting our intuition. But they're still frustrating. Spirit, give us some encouragement. And then we'll pack it up so I can watch the rest of this sky. Wait, okay. All right. These came out yesterday with my cousin. Angel of fertility. Angel of the animal realm. And the angel of white light. Well, for whatever reason, I'm going to leave those up to you as to how you want to interpret those. So I'll show you Angel of White Light, which I think is always a healing, truth light. It's a positive embrace. And you've got Angel of the Animal Realm, so someone whoever's drawn to animals. Maybe these are signs that we should pay attention to. People who are good with animals. Kind to animals, with a lot of passion. It's been coming up a lot for me the last few days, actually. It's been really strange. Something about animals. And also Angel of Fertility. So maybe there is something to have faith in, and maybe there's a family, maybe there's a child on the way, maybe whether there's desire to have children. There's, I think, an assurance here that I think it's okay. I think this might, sorry, I'm starting to filter and I shouldn't do that. What I'm hearing and feeling is, yes, this is for you. Not to doubt, not to worry, not to fear, but it will happen. Divine timing, but it will happen. Okay? So I think there's a lot of really cool things. This is a lot about healing, looking at our situations and looking at how we can heal them. So my friends, let's leave it at that. I truly wish you well, whatever this little situation is down here. We put our selenite. Clear that energy. That's awful energy. And our palm stones. I love these palm stones. I love things that are tactile. I have two, actually, and I like to hold them. And sometimes I'll hold them with, you know, with some selenite for clearing, for teaching, for holding. So if you're into stones, or you just want to investigate and you're willing to try anything, hold a stone. Something that's specific. This is specific for a sacral chakra. And look at it. It's like a little egg, isn't it? It's like a womb, you know? And we have our clearing wand to help us clear, you know, help us clear our sacral chakra, and guide us to what and how to best clear that. So truly, my friends, I'm going to put that on the fertility, angel of fertility, and also over here on our King of Wands, so that they can both be, I don't even just do this, just that we can clear any fears, any burdens, any things that are worrying us, and why, to help us understand and guide us in the right direction. Let me encourage you to start asking the spirit world. Pray to whoever you wish to pray to. So for now, I wish you well. Don't forget to check out my Little Wren WordPress site that's got like over 230 messages on there, channeled, written messages that are poetic in language that it's meant to be, so that you look at there's this huge menu. You just let your eye be guided to whatever message you're meant to look at. I kept that menu in that format for a very specific reason, and it's to help train your intuition. So trusting that when whatever you click on is a message that is meant for you. Don't doubt that. Okay, it's not just random chance. Yeah, it might be, but you've clicked on something and your eye has identified it on purpose, and it's really important part of training your intuition. So let me encourage you to go and use that website, WordPress, Little Wren 17. I can't even remember my own WordPress. There's a little button on the side of my page on my YouTube site, so just click the WordPress button, and that will take you directly there. Okay, my friends, I love you guys so much, and I wish you well, and I'm going to enjoy this storm. Thanks. Bye.